Hi, I'm Caleb Schilling, and it's a creative life.
Hi you guys, welcome to It's a Creative Life. This week was really special for me because I got to talk to somebody who I think actually leads a really creative life. I got to talk to Caleb Schilling, who is on season 2 of Lego Masters. So I traveled over to his house and I got to see where all the magic happens with all his cool Lego builds. And so I had a great conversation. So I'm kind of new to this whole interview thing and I really only had my one camera to bring. But nonetheless, we had a great talk. We had a fantastic interview. And so I hope you guys enjoy this. I learned an awful lot about Caleb's creative life and I hope that you guys do too. So here it is, my interview with Lego Master Caleb Schilling. Today I'm super pumped because I've got Caleb Schilling here and I'm here in his crazy Lego domain. Okay, so first time I met Caleb was he auditioned for a show that I direct called Theater Physics. And so he was in Theater Physics, he was in the Hallmarks of Horror show, and light bulbs go on about, oh, this guy's got some talent here. He's not just an awesome Lego builder, he's an actually really good actor. And then the following year, you auditioned for Theater Physics again.
Yes. I was turned down.
So I direct Theater Physics, and then I direct, that year I was directing the fall show too, which was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Caleb wasn't interested in The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. He was only interested in Theater Physics, but I talked him in. I said, I took you aside.
Oh.
How did it go?
Okay, this is so funny because, like, you pulled me aside and you're like, would you be interested maybe in a role in Sleepy Hollow? And I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a consolation prize. I didn't quite get into Theater Physics, so I'll have, like, you know, one of the small, like, side characters in Sleepy Hollow, which is cool, you know? It'd be fun to be part of the big production, fall production. And so I said, sure.
Oh, I don't even think you auditioned for Sleepy Hollow.
I didn't.
I just called you back. Cast list goes up, and I got Caleb as Ichabod Crane. And he was awesome. Nailed it. It was just so fun.
That is definitely one of my fondest, if not my fondest, like, Bethany memory. You know, like, there was just putting on that show every night was a joy. It was funny. It was scary. It was great. I think most notably in just, like, getting me out of my shell a little bit. I am a shy, awkward person. I think that comes across on Lego Masters pretty well. But it's good to be a little theatrical. It's fun to be in a room full of legitimately crazy people, you know, and have a good time, you know, play things up a little bit. It's reality television, but just having fun in front of the cameras and being comfortable in that space is really important. It's liberating, right? Because I could sit there and be, like, just intimidated by 20 plus cameras on, you know, at all times. Yeah. But, you know, just going with it, having fun with it, and treating it, you know, partially as, you know, entertainment.
Explain it to me with no words.
You feel that?
I did feel that.
I need a better twinkling noise.
We'll add it in. One more time, we'll add it in the twinkling.
Okay,
Here we go. Add the twinkle. Beautiful.
Perfect.
Obviously, we want to do well and focus on what we're building, but that shouldn't mean that we shouldn't have fun with the camera too. That's the unique part about the situation, because I build every day, you know. Sometimes I build with a time limit. That's not new and foreign to me. Obviously, the stakes are a little higher on Lego Masters, but the biggest difference is the cameras and how you react to those being there. So embracing that rather than being terrified of it was just a lot of fun. There's a lot expected of you. I've said it before, but Lego Masters is the hardest thing I've ever participated in. It is a challenge for the mind, body, and soul. You know, like no part of you is left unworked. Every day was a workout. You know, we're running to and from the brick pit. You know, we're getting calluses on our fingers from like placing so many bricks so fast, and then all the while, you know, trying to keep a positive demeanor, and because that affects your performance in the build as well. You know, like staying positive, just telling yourself, I can survive. I can survive. You know, it is huge to get from one week to the next.
Do you get like a lunch break? Because some of these, like you're building for what I think in the first episode it was 14 hours. Am I right?
We did get lunch breaks. Bathroom breaks though were on your own time, and so like if you wanted to go to the bathroom, you sacrificed your build time. So you better believe that Jacob and I never went to the bathroom while we were on the clock. So I'll start with my brother, right? And Jacob and I, like I mentioned earlier, hadn't been working together, especially in a Lego environment, for quite some time. And so there were struggles that arose, and our team was not the only one to face these struggles, right? Everybody had, you know, their dark moments. Like, you know, it's a hard show. There's a lot of pressure, and we put a lot of pressure on each other, and that can be difficult. But when we overcome that and find the common ground, I think that's when our best models came out. More than anything else, I think that this competition was a great bonding experience because you grow together a little bit, for sure. And I can expand that to the rest of the cast as well. Because, yes, we're competing against each other, but it never felt like that. It only felt like that maybe when you're getting judged. But when we're out on the floor together, all building to get that same goal, you know, survive, we overcome this common experience, you know, this common hardship. And we were not allowed to leave our hotel, only to go to set. So the only people we saw for the duration of our stay in Atlanta was our castmates.
It sounds like everybody was, you know, that everyone kind of enjoyed one another. What happens if you have like a bad apple and you just, I just don't want to be around that guy? And was there anything like that? Or?
There was no one that everyone hated. There was no one hateable in the cast.
That's awesome.
You know, and like that's a huge fear going into this, because you could think like, who knows who we're gonna get? We get some complete jerk, and there was nobody like that. There were people who were there to win. Don't get me wrong, and there were people who were there to have fun. But we got along perfectly, regardless of our goals and aspirations for the show. Yeah, and so it was very emotional at the eliminations, because these are friends. They are not competitors. They're friends who just had a bad day, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, it was wild.
What have you got? What's this?
So, very important part of my collection, perhaps the most special part of my collection, just because it's priceless. This was signed on set by the cast. And
can you show it a little closer?
For sure, sorry.
That's awesome.
Just great people.
Is that glued together, or could that come apart?
I could crack this in half. So I got to find a little better housing for it, perhaps.
Is it heresy to glue Lego?
It is definitely heresy to glue
it
Lego.
is.
But I could make a frame that would make sure it wouldn't fall.
So if I'm in the Mall of America and I'm at Legoland and I see all these, the big giant dinosaur that's is that glued together?
That is glued
together.
It is.
So,
okay. Yeah, anything at like the Lego parks and anything that's going to be out in display in public is going to be, there's some sort of adhesive holding it together, just so kids don't come by and pick it apart slowly over the years. Right. And so I respect that. But if I were to glue my own creations that just sit in my basement, that would be pretty horrible.
That's just a no-no. Another no-no that was on the show is Will Arnett made it very specific that they're not called Legos. You got to call them Lego bricks.
Yes.
Why is that?
So it's very important, and this is a common mistake. So I'm not too upset. I'm pretty upset. Too upset. But there's a reason we all cheered when Will corrected. Lego is a company. Lego is a company name, and they do not produce Legos. They produce plastic building bricks. So Lego bricks. It's always Lego bricks. Sometimes the hobby as a whole is referred to as Lego, but the pieces they produce are Lego bricks.
So you were saying too that Lego always has to be
all caps.
All caps.
Yep.
Lego, always capitalize each one.
Yep. That's just the way it is. And
so you've learned something.
Respect the brand.
And you got some. You were showing me too some knockoffs. There are some things that are compatible with Lego that are not Lego. You want to say anything about that at all?
Yeah, don't buy them. And yes, you do pay for that. Lego is the most expensive building block on the market, but it's a better looking product. It feels better. It holds together better. And so that's why so many of us gravitate to Lego and are so adamant that it only be Lego all the time, never any of the off-brand.
And Lego, since they held the patent, they ought to be honored for the inventors of this thing.
Well, we could get more into that. Lego actually stole the idea from somebody else. But, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a shock when it's a shock in every Lego fan's life when they figured that out. It's the dirty secret.
Wow, I don't even want to know. Not listening.
So Lego is obviously the big one, but I love building in many different forms, and so Minecraft is my other big hobby, which is also my career path right now.
So Minecraft.
Yeah.
The video game.
Yes, it is a video game.
So, okay, I wasn't sure what it was, because my kids played Minecraft. For some of the people who are my age and older, what's Minecraft? Just super fast, 2 sentences.
So, Minecraft is a sandbox game. It's an open world, infinite adventure in which you kind of create your own story. There are certain objectives, but the big goal is just to kind of build and have fun. It can be multiplayer, single player.
It's kind of like Legos.
Yeah,
Isn't
to
it
some extent,
sorta?
it's a block game, right? The reason that I got into Minecraft is obviously my Lego background. It's the only limits are your imagination. And what's great about Minecraft is it's all virtual. There's not a price point, for each brick you place like in Lego. And so even more possibilities. Even though the medium itself is it's cubic blocks. There's no way around that. Where Lego has a little more diverse selection of parts and shapes. But there was a lot of crossover, and so it made sense that is the video game of all the video games that I would get into.
So you're employed by Minecraft?
I'm employed by a multiplayer network that uses Minecraft. Okay. So basically, we are a third party, but we run the world's largest Minecraft network. It's called Hypixel. So we host about 3.5 million unique players every month, which is a lot of people. And so we have a lot of different mini games that you wouldn't find in your regular vanilla Minecraft.
And you just graduated from Bethany Lutheran College with a degree in media arts, and you made an entire Minecraft world of Bethany Lutheran College's campus.
Yeah.
Well, just because you wanted to, or
yeah, pretty much. I mean, your son put me up to this. Actually.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah,
really.
Hans Bloedel bugged me about it for literally years.
I didn't know that. I never knew that.
Yeah, and so one day I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna build this, and I love building in Minecraft, and so something that was so close to home, that was home for me, became just a very natural thing to build. And it was easy at the time because I remember while I was building it, I could just walk outside, snap a few pictures of things, go back upstairs, and try to put it together. it's fun to look at, because it's something that so many Bethany students are very intimately familiar with.
Totally.
And then to see it kind of recreated in this very different medium, it's super fun and super satisfying.
And at this point, hopefully, I'm showing B-roll of the of this thing that he's created. But when you see this, you know this is not easy what he did. Everything's to scale. Everything is like perfectly, proportionally right. I mean, it's mind-blowing, Caleb, what you did in Minecraft of the Bethany campus. It's unreal.
Yeah, thank you. Replica work is not easy, especially when it's like more than one building. So I've done a few replicas in Minecraft before, but Bethany was just especially challenging just to get the distance between buildings right, and making sure that the buildings are proportional to one another, because I was surprised, when I start putting this into the game. The buildings are quite far apart on Bethany's campus. There's a lot of green space.
There's a lot of green space.
And like to do that all right is very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's just too good. And this isn't the first time you've done that. You graduated from Luther High School in Onalaska, and you did, well, not a Minecraft, but you made Luther High School out of Legos with your brother. Is that right?
Yeah, Jacob and I love building Lego replicas especially. I think that's where the start of the Minecraft began. And so we wanted to make a 3D finished rendition of what that would look like. And we were able to display it at our graduation, which was pretty fun.
Amazing. Too cool. And you're a musician? You play saxophone, do you?
It's been a while, but it's over there somewhere. I've dabbled. I love music. And appreciate music. I also play piano. Not as much as I would like to sometimes, but it comes and goes. But I definitely have a very deep appreciation for what music is and what it can do.
Cheesy Studios on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the YouTube channel.
So, the YouTube channel is kind of the combination of all the things I love, right? It's Lego and putting my media arts to creative use.
There you go.
And so, I had talked to, I think, mostly Mark and Steven on the show. Steven had some ideas of what he wanted to do after he got off the show. How to capitalize on the opportunity we had, and there was a lot of other people who said, I'm going to start a blog, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And this is something that's always kind of been in the back of my mind, because I enjoy making Lego, I enjoy making video content. And so it made sense that this is, and Lego Masters proved to be a great starting point, where people are actually actively looking for my name. And so it was super satisfying. It was a great time to start this. And I knew if I didn't start it now, I would never get an opportunity like that again.
Right.
So that's why it came to me.
And can I just say, I think your videos are slick. I think, I'm a hack. I do my little thing, and my dog and pony show, but your videos are, just nice looking. Pro thing, pro thing. They're very pro thing. And you made your logo. You got this cool animated logo thing that. Should we show the little guy?
The space guy?
Should we show the space guy? Okay, so yeah, when I was a kid, when these things came out, this was mind blowing. We thought, oh, what? You can have action figures and Legos all at once, but. Well, what we're looking at is the little logo on the guy's chest there. And your logo is kind of inspired by that?
Yeah. I think there's nothing that screams classic Lego more than the classic space logo. So it's a very familiar icon to so many people. It made sense to kind of play around with that. It was a logo design I came up with long time ago, actually, but it was fun to bring that to life, in animated form.
You are you just graduated with a media arts major. Does that play into this in some way, or is there a relation?
Yeah, so Lego definitely began my love for video making. So most people are familiar with the Lego Movie, which harkens back to stop motion animation, which is really popular thing to do with Lego. And so Jacob and I gave that a try when we had our iPod Touches, and we put,
too good.
And so we actually made Lego stop motions, and what I loved more than anything about that process was the editing phase. And so, started with iMovie, like on my dad's iMac, and we cut together some really sad animations, but we were having a great time doing it.
So media arts is what? Is video, is graphic design?
Yeah.
And...
So there's, I think the most relevant tie-in to media arts, of course, is so broad. It's anything and everything that falls under the digital realm of media. And one of the most common things I do is photo editing, because the creations I make mean nothing if you can't share them with the world, right? And presentation is huge, because you can tell when a picture is taken, with an iPhone, just on your basement floor. And it becomes a totally different thing when you have a nice camera and an edited backdrop, and you post that,
You're kind of making these things theatrical?
It's I was told by Simon Liu, who is one of my, I would say, mentors in LEGO, you should be spending at least as much love and attention on the photo as you did your build. Otherwise, what's the point, you can take these things to conventions, and that's great too, but if you take out too much time on the photo, it all falls flat. You're not showing your hard work, your build, in the best possible light. I pray that there's a world in which I can take the YouTube hobby full time. That's a long ways out and a lot of work out.
Sure.
It's not impossible, but we'll see where that goes. And of course, there's always Lego designer. Like that's anybody in my position's dream job. Is to be there in Denmark, and so that's something I'll always hold on to. To be totally honest, I am working like my dream job right now, playing video games for a paycheck. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that, so I kind of want to ride this wave and see where it takes me. I think creativity is about taking risks, and this is something I really discovered during my time with Jacob on LEGO Masters. It is, doing something that sounds crazy, something that might not even work, something that's never been done before, just for the sake of doing something that's never been done before. And no matter if that crashes and burns in your face, that you learn from that. And so, I will always tell people, take a risk. If you can afford to accept the consequences of what might happen, and just go with it, run with it, and see what happens. It might crash and burn in your face. I think of episode 3 of LEGO Masters. Our risk taking didn't quite pay off, but we learned a lot.
Was that the shaking tower one? Because you put tires
inside, and we had this wild idea, and it didn't work. But I would not have changed anything about that build. Just because we had fun, we learned so much from this risk, and we made something that was unique, and that's huge, So being comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's big. That's gonna bring a lot of new ideas into your brain.
So this is totally enlightening. Caleb, thank you for letting me come to your place.
Thank you for coming. It's good to talk to you. I have not seen you since graduation. It's fun for you to be here.
I'm honored to be here. I love it. I really honestly love it. It's fun to get a glimpse into people's lives. This is just fantastic and cool stuff. You have a creative life. And so, anyways, thank you for letting me hang out. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.
Bye-bye.